The Realistic Dream, A Journey to True Wealth. Vivek was born at the fringes of a noisy, ever-moving city, in a fragile hut that barely stood against the wind. His world was small, made of cracked walls, empty vessels, and silent nights disturbed only by the growl of his stomach. From the beginning, life had been unkind. Each day he would watch other children pass by. They wore clean clothes, carried bags full of books and snacks, and laughed freely without a care. Their world seemed filled with joy, while his was filled with longing. The contrast pierced him. A quiet fire began to build in his young heart, not just of hunger, but of hurt, confusion, and a deep resentment for a world that gave so much to some and so little to others. But resentment, in Vivek, did not turn to despair. Instead, it took the shape of ambition. Even as a boy, he vowed never to remain poor. He would make money, enough to never feel hunger again. He began by selling popcorn and fried chips to the very children he envied. After school hours, he cleaned teacups and tables in local hotels, his small hands working harder than most adults. Every coin he earned felt like a step away from misery, and he held on to them with fierce determination. As he grew older, he saved enough to open a small tea stall. It was nothing grand, just a tin sheet, a stove, and a few benches. But to him it was freedom. He poured his energy into the business, and slowly it grew. He faced stiff competition, the bitterness of betrayal, theft, even loss, but he never gave up. His tea stall became 2, then 5, then a shop, then a chain. Over the years, his name became known across the city as a successful entrepreneur. From nothing he had built an empire. Vivek now lived in a luxurious home with floors that gleamed and walls that echoed with silence. His clothes were expensive, his bank balance overflowing. Everything he had once dreamed of was his. One morning, as sunlight poured into his vast living room, Vivek stood quietly on the balcony. The city he had once feared now lay beneath his feet. And yet, something stirred within him, an unease he couldn't name. Looking at the skyline, he felt strangely detached. The buildings, the cars, the possessions, they all seemed distant, as if they belonged to someone else. Or perhaps, as if they were part of a play he was acting in, not real, but convincingly staged. A strange thought whispered through his mind. What if this is all a dream? Not the dream of sleep, but a dream dressed in daylight. The idea unsettled him, but it also felt true. His entire life, with its pain and pleasure, its struggles and victories, seemed suddenly like a story someone else had written, a dream that had played itself out. And in that moment, something inside Vivek broke open, not with noise but with silence. He saw that his pursuit of wealth had been a chase after shadows. That each achievement, no matter how grand, was fleeting. The hunger he once felt had never truly left. It had only changed shape. From food to fame, from bread to banknotes, he had mistaken the dream for reality. And now he was waking up. With this realization came peace. Not the peace of having everything, but the peace of needing nothing. Vivek began to change. He used his wealth not for more possessions, but for purpose. He built schools in neighborhoods like the one he grew up in. He funded meals for children who reminded him of his younger self. He donated to shelters, offered medical care to the poor, and supported the education of countless underprivileged students. For the first time in his life he felt rich. Not in what he owned, but in what he gave. Every smile he saw, every tear he helped wipe, became his true treasure. People around him called it charity. But for Vivek it was healing. He wasn't giving out of duty. He was giving because it filled the space within him that wealth never could. His journey, once fueled by resentment, had become one of compassion. The boy who had once envied the laughter of others was now the man who created it. In the end, Vivek came to understand that life is indeed a realistic dream, a dream that feels so vivid we begin to believe it is all there is. But when we awaken, we see the truth, that real wealth is not in what we hold, but in what we become, and that the greatest treasure is the awakened soul. Thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe.